You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Zach Lesage here. I'm enthusiastic today because we're covering a really fun deck. And when I say a fun deck, this one might not necessarily be the most competitive, but when it comes to covering early Brilliant Stars format decks, I really want to cover kind of all the ideas that I've thought of, so it might help you on your journey, whether you're playing the Pokemon as a budget player, or you're looking to understand how I build new decks, or if you just want to check out what's happening in Brilliant Stars, this is the place to be. Pachirisu seems really cool, doing damage for all your Pokemon tools in play, and it gets to utilize Honchkrow V, which I think is an awesome card from this set as well, that can load itself up with Pokemon tools. I think the strategy is probably cool. I don't know how to, like, it might be viable, it might not be the most viable. Usually when it comes to that, it's not going to be the most tier 1 deck because I think this deck is highly susceptible to Path to the Peak, but it is a fun deck to definitely look at, and if you are playing at League or playing with your friends, or just looking for a relatively budget deck to build, this deck should be absolutely awesome. Give this video a thumbs up, it does help boost the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. We just passed 9,000 subs, it'd be so awesome if we could get to 10,000 sooner than later, and the list is going to be in the description, check that out, along with a link to the Pokebeach translations. Shout out to Pokebeach for all the translations, and you want to, let's just jump into this deck profile. Word up, and here we have the Pachirisu Honchkrow deck. So something that I didn't necessarily think in 2022 is that I'd be covering Pachirisu Honchkrow, but you want to know what? Here we are. The deck is like, before we start off anything, I always like to give a quick disclaimer. These decks are early decks. That means that we're dealing with an unofficial Brilliant Stars set list. So we have the translations from Pokebeach, that's in the description. Shout out to Pokebeach for translating the cards. There are cases of mistranslations or my misunderstanding of cards. Sometimes there's the cases where there's a new card that comes out that makes a deck super good. Sometimes there's the case of cards not coming out. That's about 99% of the time that these decks are 100% legal for play as soon as Brilliant Stars releases or the next set. I do want to let people know beforehand that sometimes even while I'm recording these videos, I'm like, you want to know what? This sparked an idea. I think this deck could be really cool, or this card could be really good in it. But nonetheless, we're going to start off with this one. Pachirisu is all about its wind-up thunder attack. For Lightning Colorless, you do 30 times damage, the amount of Pokemon tool cards attached to all of your Pokemon. And while that might necessarily not sound like a lot because, like, you can only have 6 Pokemon in play, that's 180, that kind of sucks. You do have access to Honchkrow. So Honchkrow has access to its Honcho's Stash ability. This Pokemon can have up to 4 Pokemon tools attached to it. And if the ability stops working, you can discard tool cards from the Pokemon until there's only 1 tool card attached. So you could always have a tool card on it, but you can attach an additional 3, so 4 total on a Honchkrow. And as long as there's no path in play or anything else that's stopping you, you should be pretty good to do a lot of damage with Pachirisu. The tool cards that we have in this deck, I decided to choose a decent bit of selection. I want to make sure that we had a lot first and foremost, because if one of our Pokemon gets knocked out or something, it's probably worthwhile. And it might be one of those cases where I might want to have more Cape of Toughness, no Spirit Mask. It might be one of those cases where I want to have more Spirit Mask and no Cape of Toughness. Like, I'm still figuring out that exact count, and that's really like, I think 16 sounds like a good count without going overboard. So that's my general thoughts. I think 16 is a good count. Maybe Lucky Egg is a cool one in this deck. I'm not sure. I'm still figuring that out. I chose Experience Share for this deck so that if your Pachirisu has an energy attached to it, you can kind of baton pass that energy around to another Pokemon. I chose Air Balloon so that we didn't have to play Switch. So I was looking for unique ways to shut down or to kind of cut down on extra cards in this deck, because obviously decks are only 60 cards. You can only play 60 cards. If I could play 80 cards, this is the type of deck that I'd love to play 80 cards in, where I'd have Switch and Air Balloons, or maybe not Air Balloons, and I just, you know what I'm saying? Spirit Mask is an interesting card that a lot of people don't necessarily see. So it reads, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an opponent's Pokemon, period, even if it's knocked out, your opponent discards a card from their hands. I figured it would be kind of cool if you attached like 3 Spirit Masks to a Honchkrow to prevent your opponent from knocking out that Honchkrow. Maybe they don't want to lose 3 cards from their hand. So you could go 3 Spirit Masks and maybe a Cape of Toughness so the Honchkrow has 250 HP. I think it's cool. Choice Belt is the card to the right of Spirit Mask. So it's a new card that we're getting in Brilliant Stars, very similar to Choice Band that we've had in past formats, where to your opponent's Pokemon V, you can do an additional 30 damage. So that's usually the card that you want to have attached to your Pachirisu that's attacking. And Cape of Toughness, while it can be okay to put on a Pachirisu, it's really just extra HP for Honchkrow. Might be okay to put more in the list. I don't think, like, you could reasonably attach 4 Cape of Toughness in a world to a Honchkrow and have 400 HP, which would be absolutely hilarious, because 400 HP, that Pokemon's not getting knocked out. At the same time, like, I think there's ways to get around that with Tool Scrapper, Path to the Peak, and there's decks like Mew that will probably just find a way to knock you out anyways. I'm sure that as soon as you attach 4 Cape of Toughness to a Honchkrow, I'm sure your opponent's going to have a Mew VMAX copying Melodious Echo with 4 Fusion Strike energies in play and 4 Power Tablets and boss that Pokemon up, right? Like, there's ways to make it happen. So, like I said, the strategy with Pachirisu, get a bunch of tools in play, build up your energies. It's a 2 energy attack cost. We're building up the energies by using Capture Energy and then using Lightning Energy. If we need to accelerate energies, we have access to Raihan. And if we need to get Raihan back, we have access to Pal Pad. Like, it's cool-ish, right? Like, we have ways to get around it. You're building up those tools, again, extra on the Honchkrow, and you're swinging hard with Pachirisu. So if you have access to 10 tools in play out of your 16, and then you have a Choice Belt on the active Pachirisu, you can knock out a Mew VMAX, and I think that's reasonable. I think this deck has a lot of cool things going for it, and that's pretty cool too. Bidoof is the card to the right of Pachirisu. So Bidoof is really only a vessel to evolve into Bibarel. Bibarel is once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hands. So you could use that ability every single turn. The whole idea is to play down all your tools, draw cards, and then proceed, rinse, repeat, etc. We have a Crobat in there for good measure in case we need to kind of get out of a jam. We got Bruno since we're playing a predominantly single prize card deck. I know we have 5 Pokemon in the deck that are worth 2 prize cards, and we only have 4 attacking Pachirisu, so the 4 Honchkrow, 1 Crobat compared to the Pachirisu. But Pachirisu is your main attacker, and it's the Pokemon that's going to continuously get knocked out, or at least we assume it's going to be the one that's getting knocked out. If they don't knock out Pachirisu, you kind of get a freebie attack the next turn. So it is one of those things where I think Bruno's a great way to continuously recycle your cards. We also have Research, so you can play down all your tools, drop a Research, and hopefully not discard anything else. We have 1 Boss's Order. Just because our opponent's Pokemon are probably just going to be the ones in the active that we want to knock out, we can't necessarily focus on too much else, but it's interesting. Raihan, we already went over. If one of our Pokemon gets knocked out, we can build up an energy in the same turn. Kind of cool. Roseanne's backup is to the card that's to the right of Raihan. One of those cards where it's coming out in Brilliant Stars, you can get yourself back a Pokemon. You can choose up to 4, right? So you can get back a Pokemon, any Pokemon tool, any stadium, and any energy, and any combination of those 4 or none thereof. Like, it is one of those things where I think Roseanne's is great for a deck like this. We got 4 Quick Ball to search out our Pokemon, and generally I think that's going to be pretty self-explanatory. 2 copies of Ultra Ball that gets reprinted in Brilliant Stars to search out things like Bibarel, since Bibarel's just kind of a side effect or something like that. Like, it's cool, but it doesn't necessarily need to happen all the time. We got a copy of Rescue Carrier to get back things such as the Pachirisu when they get knocked out. We got a copy of Ordinary Rod to get back the Pachirisu or anything when they get knocked out. Same thing with energies. We have a Pal Pad to get back things like Boss's Orders and Raihan, so we can use them a second time, or even Roseanne's backup, because there's not too many ways to get back Pokemon tools. So I decided that since we had a few 1-of supporters that it was worthwhile. Might be cool. We have access to experience shares, so like I said, we already went over the tools. Just if one of our Pachirisu were to get knocked out, we could definitely move that around, get the energies baton past them. Air Balloon works as switch, also working towards Pachirisu's attack. Spirit Mask, I think, is really interesting. However, like, it might be better to play Choice Belts. It might be better to play Cape of Toughness. I figured it's just, like, a good variety right now, and I'd rather show you my ideas than have the most, not to say not to have the most solidified deck list, but I really wanted to come up with some cool ideas. And Choice Belt, I think, is great to hit those extra numbers. Cape of Toughness can protect some things, but I don't know how effective it's going to be on Honchkrow. Again, this deck's going to need a little bit more testing, and maybe we'll be able to test it once Brilliant Stars comes out on PTCGO or PTCG Live. I'd rather cover a deck like this on those platforms, just because tabletop, there's a lot of deck building, and I might want to put my ink, my proxy ink towards building some other decks. I'll put it like that. I don't necessarily think this is going to be the cream of the crop, but it's certainly a fun, cool deck. Shopping Center, I felt, was very on trend with a deck like this because you are able to move around your Pokemon tools, and it might work out better that way to move around your Pokemon tools. Maybe you want to experience share on a Pachirisu, lift it up, put it on Spirit Mask or something funny like that. There's a lot of Pokemon tools, so by all means check it out. And then I found Lightning Energies. Obviously you need them for the Pachirisu. You want to get them back with Raihan, Ordinary Rod, otherwise we'd be playing Speed Lightning Energy. Capture Energy is a great way for us to get back our, to get out our basic Pokemon. So I figured that would be a really good way for us to get out Honchkrows relatively quickly and just kind of build up a board state. So overall, I think this deck is cool. Still think it might need a little bit of work, but in terms of like an early list, I'm very happy with how this looks on paper. And I think a lot of the cards we have here are going to stay in the deck. So let me know what you feel about this in the comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback on this deck. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Constructive criticism goes a long way, but I'd love to hear it from your feedback. That's what we got going on for Pachirisu today. Let me know what you think about this deck in the comments below. I do get back to every single person's comments whenever possible. And if there's any cards that you're looking to pick up when it comes to this deck, by all means, use code PTCGO store, or at PTCGOstore.com, use code Lesage5. You can see that I've ran through a few of these videos today. I've been trying to bang out all these deck profiles, so y'all are getting as excited about Brilliant Stars as I am. I think there's so many cool combos that are coming out in this set, and while every single deck might not be the most viable or tier 1 deck like Arceus V-Star or Mew VMAX, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not worthwhile to cover, because it might be the start of something great. And if I could provide the skeleton list for everyone with these early deck lists, hopefully it helps you on your Pokemon journey. So check it out, see exactly what's going on, test it, let me know what's going on, and I do get back to everyone's comments. So give it a thumbs up. That does help boost the YouTube algorithm. I can't stress that enough. Even if you can't be a channel member or a Patreon or pick up coaching or anything else like that, it does really help support the channel for free and signal boost it to other Pokemon fans to help them on their journey. You can subscribe to the channel, double check to make sure that you subscribed, and if you've already subscribed, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your neighbor, friends, grandmother, anyone, get them involved in Pokemon. I'm sure there's a video that I have that might be able to help them get involved with the game. Super fun, and maybe you could play with them a little bit more. That being said, I'm probably gonna go take a shower or something. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have yourself a great one. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video and have yourself a great day. Thanks.